Bleach, Brave Souls.
Alrighty, what is going on, you guys? This is your boy the Dash Masher, and welcome back to yet another Bleach Brave Souls video. And today we are back again with yet another character comparison, and we are going to be comparing Uryu again, but this time to the newly released Tensa Zangetsu, because good god, these two are literally tied between each other, which I still cannot decide who's better between the two. But thankfully, as I'm going to be making this video, we can actually determine who's the true better character to use for speed for every single content in the game. So with that being said, let us go ahead and begin. They're both T20. That being said, Tensa Zangetsu is 2-5 while Uryu is 5-5, but don't worry, because for that I already have pretty much, provided myself and removed the SP and attack slots, so that way we can still put out an even comparison despite giving Uryu the better advantage over the Soul Bomb. If I had my spare Uryu 2-5, I think I would have, made it a bit better, but anyways, it is what it is. Let's just start off by talking about this character. This character, he completely changed the speed attribute as a whole, and thanks to him, it's become literally one of the best attributes. I would even argue to say it's crazy to even think about. But anyways, killers. He's got a Ronker and no affiliation. There's a lot of use for that because we have several ITs in which it either has a Ronker or no affiliation mobs. And for GQ, he's definitely going to be a very damn good side unit to use, as a matter of fact. He's got a strong attack reaches time of -12%. He's T20. That being said, I do have damage to weaken enemies, but that's okay. We'll just quickly change it to weaken defense, so that way it's completely even between the two. So there you guys go. And let's just take a look at the skills and everything else. He's got double status elements, which is really good. He does have the gauge mechanic, so every time you fill it up and activate it, he gains an additional 100% Berserker. He also gets 50% damage reduction. And on top of that, because he activates the gauge, if you have already used up the strong attacks, you'll get a 30% cooldown on the used strong attacks, thus allowing you to use them again by the time you activate it, which is pretty damn good. Innate abilities, he's got Long Stride, Sprint +2, and Stamina Recovery of 20%. Very damn good overall team player that we have right here. And as for everything else, he's got a Bruiser of 20%, which is a throwaway ability, a Berserker of 20%, really good, Devastation of 40%, he's got Havoc of 20%, Frenzy +2, so this is just going to allow his strong attacks to hit 3 times, which is really good, Debilitator of +5 seconds, increased status element chance against power attribute enemies, so he's future-proofed for every single inheritance trials, and for epic rates, he's going to be a god, 20% additional strong attack damage to speed characters, and guard break plus hit hidden enemies. This unit is very damn cracked, albeit I just wish that this guy still got Marauder, and they could have easily, replaced the 20% Bruiser, give him hit underground enemies, and call it a day, and keep the guard break, but turn that into Marauder, so that way he can penetrate through resistance and just be good for every single guild quest, be a god in extreme co-op, etc, etc, etc. But still, this is by far one of the best speed characters that we have in the game. Top 2, as a matter of fact, between him and Ulk. If you guys haven't watched the comparison video between that, you guys can watch it. So yeah, it's on my channel. Now, let's take a look at Tensa. Now, this character, oh my goodness, this character is cracked beyond belief, albeit he only has one killer this time, so no double killers. In GQ, he's gonna have a lot less value compared to that of Uryu. But yeah, strong attack reaches time of -12%, just like Uryu. He has full stamina, damage boost, and weakened defense on the bonus abilities. And yeah, no status elements, so that's already gonna be a downgrade compared to Uryu. But let's just take a look at everything else. So for starters, he's already gonna be immune to fire, which is okay, although I personally would have preferred if this guy had weakened immunity, since Melee Soul Reaper GQ does have weakened puddles and not fire puddles, but it is what it is. And he's got guard break and Sprinter +1, so pretty solid innate abilities. But the 6-star skills, he's got a Berserker of 60%, so pretty damn insane. He's got Devastation of 60%. Keep in mind, he has no status elements, so him getting the devastation of 60% is going to help out a lot with the Soul Bomb. triple farming skills, so he's got the droplet drop of 30%, and the super pot skill, and the link slot potion skill for power. So yeah, this guy's literally the ultimate farmer already, and you guys already know that this guy's going to be a lot more valuable than Uryu for farming. Havoc of 20%, Frenzy +1, so yeah, as you guys can see, Uryu's just going to have the better damage output already, but hold on. Increased melee damage in co-op by 30%. Outside of that, it's going to be 10%, and then increased damage to enemies not inflicted by an ailment of 100%. This is actually going to put him on par with how much damage he's going to do compared to Uryu. And lastly, hits hidden enemies plus Pierce Iron Skin. Yeah, this character is going to be the better character to use for Inheritance Trials as a whole. But does that mean that Tensa is going to be better than Uryu? We'll just have to find out by playing as these two characters. So how are we going to be comparing these two characters? Well, pretty much we're going to do the same stuff that we always did. Build them up with the hybrid SAR as a D setup, give him the respective 50% SP and SAD items with the pill, and bring them into co-op Inheritance Trials, and then lastly end it off in Inheritance Zone. So let us begin with that.
And those were the runs. Tensa beat Uryu in Inheritance Trials by being 27 seconds ahead of him thanks to the Pierced Iron Skin ability, and of course the extra damage he was putting out. He was out-damaging Uryu. However, in Inheritance Zone, Uryu took the lead against Tensa by a good 6 seconds because he was zooming across the maps. There was no Iron Skin, so it was an easy slice and dice session. But now let's start off with the good old pros and cons. Starting it off with Tensa Zangetsu, best valued character. He is the ultimate farmer for speed and is able to farm up both pots, super pots, and droplets, simultaneously making him your go-to for just farming essentials in the game. He is not falling off anytime soon. Out damages Uryu. While Uryu has Frenzy +2 with the extra 40% damage and weakening, what Tensa has is just complete night and day, albeit Frenzy +1 with 60% Berserker, but that 100% damage to non-affected enemies just carries hard. Pierce Iron Skin. Same skill as 1000 Year Blower Anime Ichigo. Lad is literally a fusion between 1000 Year Blower Anime Ichigo and Anime Uryu. Not a lot of pros to list out, but this is what helps hold up Tensa so damn nicely that there isn't much wrong with him. But he does come with his flaws, so let's list them out. Weaker Soul Bomb. Now, thankfully, Tensa Soul Bomb is still gonna be exceptionally great for nuking normal co-op content, especially Inheritance Trials. 60% devastation plus the 100% damage is also going to add up with nuking. It's far from bad. But with all that being said and done, do not expect him to be a great bomber for guild quests, because he sadly just isn't cutting it. He lacks the weakening to be able to lower the enemy's defense and doesn't debuff like Uryu. No long strike. Hit or miss con, you can easily fix that with the use of the bonus ability, so he'll be able to clear almost as fast as Uryu even while being only one flash step off. But here's the main issue. You have to choose whether or not you value more your Soul Bomb or mobility. You can choose to go for Long Stride, but almost have a harder time nuking the last map unless at 5-5, or go for Weakened Defense and have a lot less mobility. That is something that Uryu doesn't have to worry about in the slightest. Less value for guild quests. Sadly, Tensa Zangetsu only has one killer, being Soul Reaper Killer. He doesn't even have Nullify melee resistance, so he is only going to be usable for one GQ rotation, and that's it, whereas Uryu can be used in 3 different rotations. Oh, and he's not the best lead either, sadly enough. No ways to weaken or debuff the final boss to get a much faster clear time. No stamina recovery. Unlike Uryu, he is just unable to heal, so if you're going for a complete full stamina damage boost build on him, you want to be careful and dodge every possible attack, because you are not getting it back unless you get lucky and grab an extra stage. Oh, and he is the only ultimate farmer in the game that cannot heal, whereas Safu Kaname, 1000 Year Blower Uryu, Mind Ulk, and Manor Yumichika can all do so. It's a bit of a hit or miss con because he still has the best kit out of the other units, but if you suck at the game and get hit a lot, well, that's it. You're not getting that damage back. And that's where I'm gonna end the cons. If I were to go on, I would say stuff like, oh, he doesn't have immunity, no resistance, no fire, when Uryu lacks the same thing, so we'll just leave it at that. Still a very strong character nonetheless. Now, moving on to Uryu, excellent side for guild quests. Now, you can use him as a main as well, but where he is going to shine is as a side unit. Him having Frenzy +2, Beam and Lunge, paired up with either a 5-5 7th Anniversary Ichigo or a 5-5 Christmas Noel, you can get sub 1 on those respective guild quests, given of course if you also have another good side unit. Case in point for Melee Rankar, Power In and Out, or any other unit that has the 960 or the Beam that is 5-5 as well, possibly. Better Soul Bomb. Now his Soul Bomb ain't like 7th Anniversary Ichigo, 1000 Year Blower Yama, 3rd Anni Uryu remake, or any of that kind of sort, but him being able to weaken plus debuff, he's always gonna have that edge against Tensa. Better survivability. Uryu can drain, plus has stamina recovery on his innate abilities, helping him maintain his full stam at all times throughout the entire quest. Better mobility. He's got Long Stride plus 3 flash steps, so he can easily pop in full stam and weaken defense at all times on the bonus abilities and not have to worry about choosing one or the other. A lot of pros, but now let's move on to the cons. No farming skills. Now, Uryu can still clear through a lot of content, but sadly, like most of the built-up OP characters, you're not guaranteeing extra pots, droplets, or super pots, for that matter of fact. You're just gonna be carrying with this character, and when we have Tensa as a character, he's just gonna be completely invalidated. Especially if you're going for a full lobby of Link Slot Potion characters, or even droplet characters, as a matter of fact. Needs to inflict status summons. Now, thankfully for Inheritance Trials, he is still superb to use. Increased status summon chance against all power mobs, paired up with Frenzy +2, and double status summons. He's gonna still be great, but still is gonna take a bit longer to clear the run compared to Tensa. Less damage, not including the gauge. Now, Uryu, to do the best possible damage, he does need to build up the gauge, which thankfully doesn't take long as you just have to play as the character. But on base, he's just not putting anywhere near the same damage as Tensa. Man, this type of scenario right here heavily reminds me of when I compared 6th Anni Uryu to 1000 Year Blower Anime Ichigo. Only difference is that a lot of the stuff that the characters have are swapped between the two. So here's my conclusion. Just like when I did Uryu vs Ulquiorra, there are two. Overall value, which is going to factor in where the unit is going to be more advantageous in all game modes, not farming, but like all game modes, Uryu will still just have the upper hand when it comes to taking on multiple content. In Awakened Epic Raids, like it or not, even if Tensa just does a lot more damage than Uryu having the gauge mechanic plus the debuff is what's really gonna help take down the boss and clear fast while carrying pots and droplet units. In guild quests, Uryu is just gonna be flat out advantageous and will get more value out of getting him 5-5, whereas Tensa only has one killer to make up the usability for it. As for flat out damage and farming capabilities, Tensa takes the solid fat W. Just the fact alone that he is like 1000-Year Blow or Anime Ichigo without the Marauder skill, but still keeping the high damage plus Pierce Iron Skin and having the triple farming skills makes him a unit to be reckoned with. By far the best farmer for speed and easily the best farmer in the entire game. You guys can state that Tensa is better than Uryu, and you guys would be right. You can also say that Uryu is better than Tensa, and guess what? You're also going to be right about that, because at the end of the day, it's a very solid tie and all comes down to personal preference. Having them both is the best of both worlds. Oh, and if you guys are going to ask me to compare Ulf and Tensa, I'm not doing that. We'll just draw the same conclusion as I did when I compared him and Uryu, so yeah, don't ask me to do it. And that concludes the comparison. Did you guys enjoy it? If you guys did, be sure to smash that like button, share this video with your friends and family, subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and hit the bell notification so that way you guys are up to date with my most recent videos. Now, I would have loved to do a comparison video between Safi Toshiro and Quincy Ichigo, but I unfortunately do not have Quincy Ichigo, and yeah, I did all the steps, only walked out with Tensa, sadly. But hey, he's premium, I'm not worried, so yeah. That being said, more videos are going to be on the way. I'll have a couple Maxron Senate showcases here and there, and yeah. Hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out, love.